We are continuing now the fourth week of our Celebrate Cities series.
The fun continues with WXXV's Rob Knight live from Murky Waters in the heart of the city of Discovery, Ocean Springs. Hey there, Rob.
Hey, good morning, Ansley and Grant. And yes, City of Discovery. We're in downtown Ocean Springs. And man, what a beautiful morning we've got happening. The sun is on the way up. As a matter of fact, sunrise is happening right now. Clouds are still in the area, but look at me with my meteorologist hat on. It's perfect, folks. If you've got on a sweater, a jacket, and you're indoors enjoying the nice toasty, especially with the smell of smoked meats permeating throughout the building. We're here at the new Murky Waters in downtown Ocean Springs, right on Government, folks. Gorgeous location coming in this morning. The festivities are beginning. The lights are beautiful on the oak trees on both sides of Washington Avenue. Again, we're in Murky Waters, the new Murky Waters, and right now joining me is Julian Rankin, the Executive Director for the Walter Anderson Museum of Art. Julian, thanks, man. I appreciate you coming in this early and joining us.
Of course, it's always good to get up. The city's thriving. It's never too early to be a part of the day.
Yeah, and as soon as you walk outside, my man, that cold air, if you're not awake, that does something for you, doesn't it?
I know. And I mean, we're from the Walter Anderson Museum, so you'd think we'd be open to any kind of weather condition being Walter Anderson's history. But it is a little cold. That's okay, though. It's a beautiful time in downtown Ocean Springs.
Well, I've got to say, you got on a couple of layers. You got your jacket on, so well prepared, my man. Julian, you know, celebrating cities and Ocean Springs, this is a known city. It's not like we're bringing something new to the masses, but we want to highlight all the cities, and we're eventually going to get to your city, folks. Julian, talk to me about the Ocean Springs community, this side of Biloxi into Ocean Springs. Your opinion of what you think about it.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think you're right. It's both a well-known place, but it still has its secrets, all these wonderful things to discover. They do call it the City of Discovery. And so we like to think of ourselves, you know, especially over the bridge on Biloxi. A lot of people come to Harrison County, all across the coast. When they venture into Ocean Springs, they're like, oh, I've found something special. Yeah. And so that's really stemming from the culture, we believe, in the museum, all the arts and history and legacy here. And so it's a really beautiful mix of contemporary development, innovation, but also that culture, that grounding, that rootedness that's so important.
I love the way you put that. Very eloquent. Now, later this morning, we're going to have John Anderson joining us. The Walter Anderson Museum of Art. Talk to us about that. That is a beautiful building right there on Highway 90. I mean, you can't miss it, can you?
It's great. I mean, one of the cool things about the museum, it's built, you know, more than 30 years ago, but now, you know, we're expanding. We're bringing in STEM and 21st century, you know, applications and education and experiences. And so we really like to bridge that gap, like I said before, of the past, knowing where you came from, but really using, in this case, Walter Anderson's legacy to address all the needs and opportunities of the contemporary moment. And there's a lot of it here in coastal Mississippi. And
that is such a legacy. You know, when you talk about known artists down here, Walter Anderson, you talk about Shearwater, and you also mentioned ore as well.
The cool thing about that actually is, you know, Walter Anderson's brother Peter Anderson started Shearwater Pottery, and their first wheel was George Orr's potter's wheel. So George Orr was a little older than them, but he actually kind of was a part of that story too, of course, the Mad Potter of Biloxi. So that's all intertwined and connected, and that's really what it's about. It's not just this city, it's the whole coast, but this is kind of a light on like a kind of a beacon of what the culture of the Gulf Coast really means, and that's what people find when they come to the museum.
You know, this is all new information, and this is one of the reasons, and folks, we've got some video up right now. This is one of the reasons we wanted to do this. I mean, John and Walter, you can put together, right? When you're talking about ore, that's something that never, for me, the normal viewer, when you think about it, it's not something that you would intertwine, but there is a legacy there.
Absolutely, and I think back to Walter Anderson, you know, he died in 1965, but he saw so much in the interconnection of nature and society, of food, the seafood industry he depicted, all of the things maritime. Yeah. So when you think about what our economic life is, our social life, it's not just art on a wall. Walter Anderson helps us understand what it means to be coastal people and what we can do to innovate and excel in the future. Whether we're students or, you know, people like us who have a little gray hair, we can still do things that are amazing.
Wait, the people like us? Come on.
I've got a little in my beard shaved, but when I have a beard, there's gray in there, trust me.
I think I've got, I don't know, maybe there's 2 or 3 coming in at the bottom. Can you tell?
It looks beautiful.
All right, Julia, let me ask you this, man. As far as the museum goes, you know, there's people out there that are museum people. There are people that are not. You're not just a museum. Tell our viewers, regardless of whether they're from Diamond Head to Lucedale to Pascagoula, Tell them why they need to come by and visit.
Well, for one, if you do like museums, some people think the museum never changes because we've been here so long, but Walter Anderson's art, we continue to refresh that. The collection that's up now is brand new, and there's contemporary exhibitions that come through all the time. So it's always fresh, but more importantly, like I said, it's not just an art museum. We're kind of a center of culture. Even this weekend, we've got a huge silent light. It's a light festival, our 3rd annual, so we do things for the community that take art and present them in new ways. So a lot of times people don't understand the permeation of culture across their lives. Art is something that we live with every day, whether we realize it or not. So that's what we try to talk about.
It truly is. You may not think about it, but just looking around, you're at a regular restaurant, you're looking around at the history, the art on the wall, and it does play a factor on your day, your memory, and things like that.
Of course, and entrepreneurship. I mean, Cheerwater Pottery, that's an almost 100-year-old small business that's really succeeded and grown. And that's what we try to cultivate too. So creative economy, all that's baked in. But ultimately, when you come to the museum, you'll just be awed. The murals, the scale of what Anderson did, and all, like I said, all the new things. Our campus is growing. It's a lot of exciting things happening in Ocean Springs.
Excellent. Julian, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you coming down and joining us today. Hopefully you all learned a good bit. I certainly learned a good bit about you, Julian, and about the museum as well. We're going to have to come check that out sometime in the near future. I'm one of those people that I see it and it's like, wow, that's a fun spot, but you drive by and you keep going, you forget about it. I'm going to see you in person coming up within the next couple of weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, Julian Rankin, Executive Director for the Walter Anderson Museum of Art, joining me this morning. We're going to be back with so much more as WXXV News 25 continues celebrating cities here in Ocean Springs. But reporting right now from the brand new murky waters for WXXV News 25, I'm Rob Knight.